Hello, hello. Hey, good morning. Some critters here have super sharp hearing, but some of us need microphones. Welcome. I am Amy Zucker Morgenstern. My pronouns are she or they pronouns, and you are very welcome here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Palo Alto, whatever species you are. Folks who are online, I hope if you can't get somebody to stay right there by you on top of your keyboard or whatever as you're joining the service, then you could put a picture up near you or as your background so we can appreciate your critters too. We gather our different paths entwined to deepen our spiritual lives. Nourishing connection, learning from each other, caring for each other, tending to our world. Friendly members of the membership team are at the welcome table with the blue tablecloth out front. We experienced a bit of a jam there this morning. If you didn't get a chance to pick up information there or leave your information, that's a great thing to do after the service. And there would be somebody there who can answer your questions as well. Snacks for various animals are at the table. Right here you see where Mike, the man with the beard, is. There's a little table there with snacks that cats, dogs, and rodents might appreciate. Human treats are on the patio. Do please come enjoy the petting zoo that is visiting in the front playground, Charleston Road. Out there. This is the one thing that dogs are please not invited to. There are a lot of animals there that will be very, very frightened to see even one dog, much less a bunch. So if you want to go pet the bunnies and see the goats and everything, the chickens, then leave your dog in the care of somebody over here on the patio and go visit the petting zoo. Few announcements for us. A new group meets for the first time today, Living with Chronic Pain at 11:30 in the Fireside Room. Thank you so much, Jin Lee, for organizing that. All are welcome, and that's the Fireside Room with the dark blue doors over there. The Empty Nest group meeting has been canceled today due to illness. It will resume in November. Saturday afternoon, right here where I'm standing, where you're sitting, you will have a family community dance, 2 to 4 p.m. The heat wave will be over, and it will be a great day for dancing. We have some voter information here. Looks like that, and it's on our pamphlet rack. I need 4 paws today. That is specifically for 16 and 17-year-olds who can register to vote. And then they will be ready to roll when they are 18, so please go check it out. Bring it to a 16 or 17-year-old of your acquaintance. And now Karen Skold has an announcement for us.
Hello, everyone. It's on. Okay. Hello, everyone. That's better. I'm Karen Skold, and it's my pleasure to introduce the Justice Partner for this month. It is South Bay Sanctuary Covenant. We are a small group of local volunteers who raise funds for low-cost, high-impact projects in our partner community and other small rural communities in El Salvador. We also have visited these communities at our own expense, almost every year since 1993. I've gone 16 times since 2005. We are now raising funds for 2 projects, low-cost, high-impact projects. One is creating family gardens to produce nutritious vegetables to reduce malnutrition, especially among children and elders. The families will learn sustainable organic farming methods and be provided with seeds. A pilot project has already successfully created these gardens for 15 families, and this project will fund 25 more. There are only 100 families in this community, so this is a high-impact project, and hopefully, eventually all 100 families will have their gardens. And the second project is housing for 2 teachers in a small island community. Because they travel a long distance from their homes by bus and have to take a boat to get there, they have to stay the whole week in the community. They don't have a house to stay in, so they've been sleeping in the school. This is not ideal. So the funds will be used to provide materials and hire several skilled workers, and the community will provide the rest of the labor to build a house as good as the houses as the other community members, you know, with electricity and a latrine and all that. This will increase the teachers' morale and forge even stronger relationships between the community and the school. They're already pretty strong, but could be better. If I were a teacher, I wouldn't like sleeping in the school. Although it's a nice school. We helped provide funds for a new roof when it was leaking. The government doesn't care about education, so it's us or nobody. Please give generously so these 2 high-impact projects can be implemented. If we only get enough to fund one, that's what we'll do, but we hope to be able to fund both of them. And by the way, I've visited both of those communities, and I've met people there. If you would like more information, please talk to me after the service. I will be around. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Karen, you adjusted. Oop, I'll stick with this one. You adjusted like a pro to the lack of a pulpit today. And finally, we have an important announcement from Elsa Schaefer on our capital campaign.
Hi, hi. I love this circle, so it's been suggested I walk around. I am here to tell you about the capital campaign, which you haven't heard about in a long time. You have heard from Sally and her committee a lot about what that campaign is funding. All of you have been so generous, and we now have collected $1.4 million, which is just slightly over the half of what we had hoped to have by now. However, Sally and her crew have been working so diligently that we need to be able to have enough in tow that we can start paying those bills. We have a new architect, you know, who's been fabulous, and her design team bills will come into with greater speed, and we're going to start construction very soon. So you're going to see things happen around here. And therefore, there are some people who have given everything already, an amazing number of people. Thank you, thank you. And this whole congregation has been so generous. There are a couple of you, there are a few of you who need to start doing that, or we hope will start doing that. And if you can possibly give a third or more of your pledge by November 30th, we would be so grateful. That will put us in position to be able to pay those bills. And it'd be nice to pay those people so they keep doing more. You will hear a little more about that, but only for the next few weeks. And we have a lot of new people. And I don't mean all of those of you who arrived for the first time today at all. But there's some new members since we did this a year and a half ago. And I just have to say, also new friends, if there's any chance you too would like to join in the capital campaign, surprise, we would love to have you do so. So if you, and future, I don't know if there were enough today, but on that little table, there will be packets to tell you about it and a gorgeous brochure who was created by one of our 16-year-old artists. And we think it's the best we've ever had. So if you are interested, if you could talk to any of us, Amy's here today. We also may have Sean and Lisa, and I saw Isa somewhere around here. This is Isa Jacoby. She knows an awful lot. She's the right hand of all of this. You'll hear more about this in the next couple of weeks, but if you could do something about that by November 30th, we would be so very grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And just to clarify, I think you meant that early on in your statement, we are about halfway through the 3-year period, and we are over halfway. We have collected over half of what was pledged. So that's great. We're ahead of schedule, but we still want to bring in enough to pay all the folks who've been working so far. Thank you for your patience with all these announcements. As you can see, they're important for how we run. And now I invite you to enjoy photos of animals that we love as sent in by members of the congregation as Varsha plays us into our service. If you have a chalice there at home, please light it along with us. Let us praise the darkness that shelters us, that welcomes the owl to hunt and the human to sleep. Praise the depths of the ocean where lanternfish move by their own light, and the velvet dark of caves where salamanders move by scent with no need for sight. Praise the dawn, the blue of jellyfish glowing with their inner sun, the invisible light that guides each of us, every living creature, toward whatever we need to live, toward whatever we most ardently seek. With our centering words each week, we draw on the many sources of our living tradition. Today's words are from contemporary U.S. American writer Wendell Berry. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free. As we follow the sound of the bell into silence, we allow ourselves to arrive here fully. Beth Nord has a story for anybody. Maybe you want to set it up right here? On this side? No, on this side. Come on up if you are young or young at heart and you want to hear a story about animals. And if you came in late and are looking for a chair, there are a lot of chairs up in the area. If you're sitting up in the front, if you're sitting next to an empty chair, will you just hold your hand up in case anybody wants to come in off the edge? And also, if you have a picture or a memento, go ahead. Yeah, sure. If they're under your control. If you have a picture or memento of an animal who didn't want to come along, like my cat, or is departed and you didn't get a chance to bring it up to the altar, please do that right now. Oh, you've got yours. Bruce, would you hold this for Beth so she can hold the book and pour it up? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, talk. Is it on? Is it on? Can you hear me now, Gloria? On? All right, good.
Do you want to hold it? I hold it for you.
Well, I'd love it if you would, but you have to hold it very close to me. Okay, this is a book. It's called Man Gave Names to All the Animals. It is a song. The song was written by a Nobel Prize winner named Bob Dylan. So raise your hand if you've ever heard of Bob Dylan. Okay, raise your hand if you've ever heard his music. All right. Maybe you know this song, maybe you don't. The pictures are by a person named Jim Arnowski.
And there are something like 170 animals described in this book. This seems to be a service that makes us aware of all the animals in the world, of which there are lots, more than 170, I'm sure. Okay, so let's have the first slide. Let me put on my glasses here. Yeah, there's one. There's one. So I'm just going to read this first little part, and then I can show you all the pictures. And God formed out of the earth all the wild beasts and all the birds of the sky, and brought them to the man to see what he would call them. And whatever the man called each living creature, that would be its name. And the man gave names to all the cattle and to the birds of the sky and to all the wild beasts. Now, obviously, he didn't name them in English, but the song is in English. So if you see an animal that you recognize, you could tell your parents and notice. Okay. Next slide. go back over this really quickly, and you can call out, you kids can call one animal that you see in the picture. Okay. One more. How about? What do you see here? How about this?
But if that thing is. Where's that? Hummingbird.
Yeah, there's a seagull.
Hummingbird.
Anybody know what this is? They call it a bull. It looks like a musk ox to me, if you know what a musk ox is. How about this? What's this? Giraffe. How are we doing there? Must be something hiding in the dark there. What's this?
It's a lion.
Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. Different kinds of birds. Ooh, careful. How about this? What's this? Yeah. How about this? How about these guys?
And there's a goat. Monarch butterflies.
How about the little orange things?
Those are monarch butterflies.
Monarchs.
Or maybe not. Maybe they're the other one. I see a goat.
Yeah, there's the walrus.
What is that doing in the
How about this guy? Yeah, this is the last one here. And what was this? Okay. Thank you very much for enjoying my story and enjoying Bob Dylan and hearing what he sounds like. He has a real and unique voice. Some people like him, some people don't. But so now Amy's going to tell you what's next.
I'm a fan, and I'm a real fan of this next song. So the choir is actually going to sing an anthem, and I encourage you all to stick around just till the first chorus so you can hear it, because it's a really fun song, and then go on out and join Greg, who will take you to Family Chapel. This particular arrangement of this classic song was done by a composer who used to be a choir director at the church where Jane Cronus was a member in Rochester, New York. So she called this to our attention, and it's really fabulous.
All God's creatures got a place in the
Thank you so much. Yes. Come to Family Chapel. Nobody wanted to leave during the song, Greg. Anybody who's counting the time and wondering how long we're going to be here, don't worry. I'm not really giving a sermon, just a very brief reflection. Blessed be. Will you join now in singing All Creatures of the Earth and Sky? We're going to sing verses 1, 3, and 5. So, Tim, you can move on through to those slides. 1, 3, and 5, the words are right up here in your order of service, and you've got the book as well if you want to read along in number 203. Please rise in body or spirit. Here, I'll be on 2. There we go. Love to have multiple species singing along. Thank you. So as promised, I don't really want to give a sermon in this ritual-heavy service. I just wanted to reflect for a moment on our theme. We've been going through the new UU shared values, and today's is interdependence, the I in our mnemonic jet pig. But you know, I know this group, and I think probably we don't need a lesson on how we are part of an interdependent web of all existence, that all living things, animals, and all the other living things, and all the non-living things are all connected in more ways than we can even know. That we are connected to a huge number of species that, again, we don't know how many, we haven't discovered, but it's clear that there are many more undiscovered, unidentified than the ones that we have identified. We know that we are all interconnected, dependent on one another's well-being, and that we show deep respect for that interdependent web in getting our energy from the sun here at our church and holding this capital campaign that Elsa talked about that will make our space so much more sustainable and efficient, and put in electric car chargers for the community instead of just the one we have now. We try to honor and respect that web because we know it is our only home. and it is beautiful and worth preserving. So we know all that. But there's another kind of interdependence that I think animals can really help us with. And I'll just ask you briefly to pay attention right now to a non-human animal in the room. You've probably noticed this already if you've stopped to look at a lizard, or you live with a cat or a dog or maybe a bird or a bunny. You've probably noticed that they are really, really good at living in their physical selves. I hate to say living in their bodies. It kind of makes it sound like we have a body over here and a person, who we are over here, and they're separate. No, we are bodies, and animals are bodies, but we tend to lose touch with that. Other animals don't. Whatever else might be going on in their minds or their hearts, their feelings, they don't seem to let it get in the way of knowing when they're hungry, when they're tired, when they need to run around, when they need to howl, when they need to curl up in the sun. Whereas, I don't know about you, I could go for hours sitting at a desk using my mind, and I suddenly realize that my body has been telling me for a long time that some parts of it need to be filled, and some parts of it need to be emptied, and all of it needs to stretch. And I've gotten all stiff while I've been saying to my body, to my physical life, nope, wait, because the way I work, my mind is the part of me that gets the most attention. The people who study the Enneagram say we have 3 centers of intelligence, 3 kinds of intelligence, and one is mental, the mind, the intellect. One is what we might call the heart, the feelings, the emotions, and the third is our physical being. And most of us we draw more on one of those than on the other. And that varies a lot from person to person. But I would say, as a culture, we Unitarian Universalists tend to be up here and tend to forget about our animal selves. Our bodies, we are bodies. And just like we need to be aware of everything in the web, or at least aware that there is a web of existence, we're interdependent in ourselves too. We have these different intelligences, and they work together, and they have to have some kind of balance. And we get out of balance. So I want to take just a moment of a little exercise to help us remember our animal selves with our guiding spirits who are here today, our guiding bodies that are here today, our critters. If you are very much in your head or in your feelings, you might find this a lot easier to do if you close your eyes, because venturing into another kind of intelligence can be difficult and embarrassing. But I don't want you to do anything that you're not comfortable with. Scratch that. Go ahead and be a little uncomfortable, but don't be excruciatingly uncomfortable, okay? So I just invite you to really attend to your body for a moment, just how it feels and what it's saying, what this physical self is saying, and anything that you're feeling that maybe you've been ignoring, like, oh, I just really want to stretch. Go on and do that. Stretch, scratch, sit up, move around. And there might be a sound element of this too. Like, animals are not shy about making sounds. So let's all just start on a kind of hum. And the louder you hum, the more cover you give to the people around you, and that's a kindness. So hum loudly, and I'll talk over you. And you might feel like it really needs to be a growl, or it needs to be a sigh. Just feel, what do your lungs want to do? We're very vocal animals. We have this fabulous equipment for making sounds. We have sounds we can make with our limbs too, and with our tongues and our teeth. So go ahead, and if you feel like your animal self is saying, go rah, then do that. Blah, 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 blah. It feels so good to just live in our animal selves. Oh. So that's what I want you to take away today. Is when you see a non-human creature, let it be a reminder to you that that's another way to be, and you can scuttle like a lizard, or just remember, look at that lizard, it's finding a sunny spot until it gets too hot and it gets into a cool spot, and let's live a little bit more into our animal bodies and honor that part of the interdependent web that each of us is. And now I'm going to skip over this lovely responsive reading. I'll use it next year to have our blessing of the animals. This is the time for everyone who has another animal with them, a non-human animal, to parade. I would invite you to just, whatever's the closest spoke to you, go outward on that spoke and go around until you come up the middle, and I would love to just meet and bless your animal. So please, if this is an animal that really, really will not react well to my getting down in their face, tell me that. I don't want anybody to be hurt, least of all me, and I don't want anyone to be scared, least of all your critters. So I will bless them in the way they'd like to be blessed. And all of us will be blessed by these animals by being able to see them go around. If you're in a spoke really close to me and you wouldn't get to really go around to do that, then go around the whole circle and then come up the middle. Okay? Let us do that and enjoy blessing and being blessed by these animals. Will you parade? Will you parade for us? This is the moment you've been waiting for. And as they do that, I want to bless all the animals that are represented here on our altar. Some of their names are given, some are not. Come on up and see their beauty. Hear about them from the humans they live with or lived with after the service. I see Lulu of blessed memory, Mochi and Luna, Addie and Krusty. I see a beautiful fluffy white dog who just sat down here. Samuel Tarley III, cat of the Hennigan Braille family. Karma, a recently deceased cockapoo, and many, many beautiful family members up here. Feline and cane. So come on up here and let me give you a blessing, critters.
One animal who is not here.
Who's that?
Tinkerbell.
Who's Tinkerbell?
The lizard who lives in the daycare?
Marilyn reminds me that we have an animal here who would not want to be in this room, but Tinkerbell the lizard lives in room 1 and 2. And it's really great to bless Tinkerbell. So bless you, Tinkerbell.
This is Penny.
Hi, Penny. Yes.
Good girl. She's like, I'm kind of like overwhelmed.
Make sure they're happy. Yes, please, if your critters are getting overwhelmed, please go walk them around. We don't want them to be on show here. We want them to just have a great time. You have a wonderful life, Boomer. Oh, hi.
She really needs
Bless
blessing.
Pauline. Oh, I do bless her. Is she ill?
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Ooh, sorry about that.
I'm taking the table with
Well,
me.
we don't want to do that. Who's this?
Hi, this is Maeve.
Hi, Maeve. You are beautiful. I bless you. I hope you have a wonderful life. Thank you. Hi, sweetie. Nicole, I haven't seen you in a while. And I couldn't catch you the last time I saw you. Bless you. Have a wonderful life. see that tail is saying, I want to be here. Yes. Thanks for having me. Of course. Hi, sweetie. I know you, but I forgot. Oh, Amy. How can I forget? You're an Amy. Amy, I'm Amy. Yes, you. I hope you have a wonderful life. Thank you, everybody. We are truly blessed by everybody who's here. And now, as a part of the Free Church tradition, we don't accept any money from any governmental body. As you heard, we raise the money for the things we want to do ourselves. We do that because we want to remain free to govern ourselves. We don't receive money from the government or an ecclesiastical body. So in addition to their annual pledges, each week our members and friends may choose to give an additional contribution as a public witness that we are and shall remain a free faith. And with our offering, we also assert that we are part of the interdependent web of existence. And so 1 week a month, our gift goes to the community organization we've chosen as our justice partner. And Karen has shared with us just how much of a difference we can make in the lives of our partners in the community in El Salvador with which we partner. You can use cash or check or the QR code or text info that's in the order of service. Please give generously to our partner, South Bay Sanctuary Covenant. Thank you, everyone, for your generosity. So let us, again, skip an item and go to our closing song, which is number 1052 in the Teal hymnal, The Oneness of Everything. Please rise in body or spirit, and we'll sing together. The words are also on your screen. I hope you'll be able to stay for coffee, tea, and conversation, and visiting the petting zoo and meeting each other's critters. If you're here in person, if you're online, I hope you can stay and enjoy some conversation with the folks who are there. Now, those who are online, please unmute yourself and turn on your video and do a little virtual hand touching. Here, we hold hands if we're comfortable with that. If the person next to you isn't comfortable with that, they'll probably show you that by crossing their arms over their chest, whatever makes everybody most comfortable. Will you please rise in body or spirit, and we'll say together, our Benedict.